What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Kane and Ross present the Yeah I Said It podcast. We're expressing with our full capabilities and to my wonders and correctional facilities, brainchild of my child. I am the dad half of this operation, Ross Cooper. As always, I'm rocking the best, my co-host. We've got a very special show today, but first, please, sir, introduce yourself to the folk, Kane.
Give me the land you owe so I can roam. What up, y'all? What's good, everybody? Everybody's having a good day, week, hour, year, and all that good stuff. And yeah, we got a good show coming up. Got a guest, special guest. And like I said, hit us up in the comment section if you'd like to be a guest one day. And like, share, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Share with your friends, family, dogs, enemies, all that. So let's get it.
All right. So, very special day for the Yeah I Said It podcast. We have a very special guest. I felt the need to bring this gentleman on. He's an awesome guy. Introduced me from a very close friend of the show, my buddy Ron. But he put me on this brother. I did a little homework and I was like, wow, we've got to get somebody like this to talk to our folk. The original, and I'm going to let him talk about it, the original high value man. I know most folks have heard the term. It's been, I'd say, borderline bastardized. So we're going to let this gentleman talk about what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to you good friend of the show, Ace Mitchell. Please, brother, thank you for joining us. First up and foremost, give our listeners and viewers some information about who you are and your background.
Peace. What's happening? So I want to thank you first and foremost, Ross and Kane, for having me on your show. And we do have a mutual friend in Ron. He's a very good friend of mine up in New York, and I'm just happy to be here. As you know, I go by Asaru as well as my government name, AC Mitchell. And as you said, I would like to say that I'm one of the pioneers of this term called high value man. You know what I mean? And I can say that with a lot of confidence because I actually wrote the book and I got the t-shirt. You see what I'm saying? So,
right.
Like literally, you know what I mean? Here's my book, right? How to Be a High Value Man, The Blueprint to Success with Women, right? And I actually have the t-shirt that I designed as well. So anyway, I wrote the book back in 2019. That's when it got copyrighted. And then I actually self-published the book in January 2020. Now, I already had a YouTube channel, but I wasn't really using it for anything. It was just up there, you know what I'm saying? I already had it for like 10 years. I just wasn't doing shit with it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so once I self-published my book, January 2020, and began taking traction and getting a lot of success, I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let me just start making videos, right? Because I'm looking online and everybody else out here making videos about women and dating and all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, you know, no one's really talking about high value man at the time. At the time, I'm talking about early January 2020, 2019. At the time, everybody was alpha male, alpha male, alpha male, alpha male, at fucking nauseum. Alpha male, you know what I mean? And, you know, an alpha male is just a leader of a pack, so to speak, the captain of the football team, the silverback gorilla, etc. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, no, man, you know, what I have to talk about is a lot more in depth and has a lot more qualities and content than just some leader of the pack kind of dude, you know what I mean? Or some kind of bad boy. So I did some research. I Googled high value man and I didn't see a lot of shit on it. All I saw was maybe a GQ magazine. And, you know, that was regarding, you know, having a high value type debonair dress code, you know what I'm saying? And then I saw on YouTube, I guess it was a series, High Value Man series, but it didn't go anywhere. I think they only had like maybe 2 episodes and that was it. But I didn't see anything else with content of High Value Man. So when I was writing the book in 2019, I was like, yo, this shit is wide open. I'm gonna bust this shit wide open.
Right.
So 2020 January, I published my book. And then in June 2020, I started making YouTube videos. My first YouTube video to support my book was in June 2020 about High Value Man. So now since then, I have started making videos regularly, at least 2 videos a week, etc. You know what I'm saying? Now comes December 2020. right? Yeah. So December 2020, you know who pops up on the scene? You know what
The
I'm
other
saying?
guy. The
Right.
other guy.
The other guy pops on the scene and he gets prominence on this high value man shit. You see what I'm saying? And and he goes kind of left with it in terms of, you know, telling women that they're not qualified to be with a high value man. And there's some validity in that kind of stuff. And in terms of women having, you know, delusional expectations and things like that. But I think the whole toxicity of, look, I'm gonna tune in and watch this guy's channel so he can shit on this woman. And you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Watch, he gonna shit on her real good. Yes, I told you, you know what I mean? And then the women who call in with the toxic attitudes, they're thinking, you know what? I'm gonna get him together. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. You see what I'm saying? So we're entertained. We're entertained by that toxicity. Right. And I don't watch a lot of his content, but around December 2020, January 2021, people started sending me and tagging me in this guy's content. I'm like, you know what? He's gonna phase out because it's all toxicity. But actually, what I'm actually teaching men is how to be. Like, I'm teaching you how to be a high value man and have success with women. You know, so being a high value man is all about your mindset. It's not just having, it's not just about earning 6 figures a month at minimum. I mean, 6 figures a year at minimum. You know what I'm saying? For 5 or 10 years straight, and just having some type of a social economic status. Because that would mean that any idiot with some money would be considered a high value man. That's just not so.
And therein lies the issue. Right.
Right. That's not a quality criterion or requirement to be said a high value man. A high value man is about a mindset. It's about a guy with principles. It's about a guy with morality. It's a guy who's centered. It's a guy who's successful. It's a guy who's focused on becoming his best version. And then by default, you're going to attract women as a result, because women are attracted to what? Resources and success. You see what I'm saying? So when a high value man focuses on himself and becomes his best version, he becomes what? Self-reliant, and he becomes successful, right? And he has his shit together, quote unquote. He's going to be very attractive to women, right? And have his options to select women that he wants to add into his life and be a better option for women to add him. You see what I'm saying? That's really what the premise of my book is about, without giving too much away.
Gotcha. I was just going to ask, what is the difference between what you say is a high value man and the other guy? You kind of delved into that right now. So you can make hypothetically 30,000 a year, 40,000 a year, but still be a high value man by your standard, correct?
Absolutely correct, because it's a mindset. And I will give you this much without giving away too much of the book.
Right.
But I have a set of priority principles, right? Mm-hmm. That a high value man should and must follow. Principle number 1 is going to be your relationship with God, aka the universe, spirit, the creator. You know, whatever that is for you. So if you're a religious person, God. If you're a spiritualist, spirit, universe, etc. Whatever that is for you, you got to have a strong spiritual foundation, right? Because life is bigger than you, and you're going to need something to plug into when you have challenges and things like that, right? And be able to manifest and things like that. Now, priority number 2 is taking care of your body, your vessel, right? Now, you have to eat right. Now, a lot of people say eat right, but what does that mean for different people? Well, we all know, we can collectively say that having a plant-based diet or a vegetarian type diet is a little bit more healthy than it's just eating a more meat based diet. You see what I'm saying? We know this argument. Meat is acidic, plant-based is more alkaline, right? So I'm not saying you got to become a vegan. I'm not saying you have to become a vegetarian. You can be pescatarian. I'm just saying eat more plants and vegetation than you do meat. You know what I mean? So I put that in balance. Like I use like an 80-20 rule. I eat about 80% plant-based, that's fruits, vegetables, and nuts and things like that. And I'll still eat a little meat here and there. You know what I mean? But not in copious amounts. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what I like to say is I'm more plant-based than I am, you know, meat and things like that. Now, taking care of your body, having a proper diet. And that also includes what? Exercise. Now, I know you're a bodybuilder, you work out. I'm more of an athletic type person. I got more of a boxer's type physique. I mean, I'm a lifelong martial artist. So fitness is a lifestyle for me, and things like that. So anyway, you have to exercise because your body is an instrument. This is the only thing you truly own. We live in this body. We live in it. This is really ours. Everything else we gotta buy. No, we literally are housed in this body. So why not take care of it? So you gotta exercise at least 3 to 5 times a week. I'm not saying you gotta be a bodybuilder or an athletic person like me, but at least make sure that your waistline is a little bit slimmer than your shoulders and it's flat. You know what I mean? Have some tone. You know what I'm saying? Because statistically and case study wise, women are more attracted to men that has a 1.6 shoulder to waist ratio. A 1.6 shoulder to waist ratio. And what does that entail? That means women like a V. They like the V shape. Just like we as men, we like a what? An hourglass shape. Right? So women are more attracted physically to what? A V shape. So when you exercise and you eat right and you take care of your body, you're going to look more attractive to women. You're going to put yourself on the market, having more sexual market value to attract a large body of women. You see what I'm saying? Now, can you be obese 300 pounds? Can you be 300 pounds plus and still get a woman? Yes, you can. But can you get more women if you are aesthetically pleasing? Yes, you can. So I'm just telling guys to position themselves to be attracted to most women as possible by simply eating right and exercising at least 3 to 5 times a week and keeping that shoulder to waist ratio at 1.6. Now, in addition to that, we want to talk about your sexual market value. What's your sexual market value? That's controlled by women. How many women find you attractive? So how can you enhance that? Okay, by proper hygiene, keeping a haircut, brushing your teeth, washing your face.
Right.
You know, knowing how to dress, not wearing clothes that's too baggy, wearing clothes that's fitted, having some drip, having some swag. You know what I'm saying? That's your sexual market value. The more sexual market value you have, you're going to be more attracted to women and things like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's all that is under priority number 2. So priority number 1 was what? Getting right, being tapped in with your spirituality or whatnot. Priority number 2 is your body. Now priority number 3 is your mission, focus, and purpose. Why do you get up in the morning? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you breathing right now? What is your purpose in life? What are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What's your ambition? A woman will fuck with you alone on your ambition alone. If she sees that you're ambitious and you want to, accomplish and do shit, and then she can look at your history and see that you've accomplished things already. For example, you graduated high school, you went to college. Maybe you got an AS degree. Maybe you got a BA degree. Maybe you got your master's, your graduate degree. Maybe you got a license in this. Maybe you got a certificate in that. Maybe you self-employed. Maybe you started your own business. Like if she sees you already done some things and you plan to do this, she's going to have more confidence in that you're going to be able to achieve that because you got a history of it. So women will fuck with you alone on your ambition alone. You know what I mean? So mission, purpose, focus, ambition. That's purpose number 3. You got to have a reason as a man to impose your will in this reality. You got to be on your motherfucking purpose to be attracted to a lot of women. And when they can see that, they're going to be more attracted to you. And back to number 2, in terms of your body, that's if you look good and you strong and you look nice in your clothes, do you think you're going to have a lot of confidence?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a byproduct. Absolutely.
And we already know women love confidence in men, right?
Right.
So all this stuff just bolsters that. You see what I'm saying? So if you're on your mission, your purpose, and your focus, right? You're going to be confident about that because now what's the fruits of that labor? If you're out, pursuing, let's say, a promotion, or you working that job and you starting a business on the side, or now you scale that business out and now you can quit your job. Now you're financially free. You see what I'm saying? So if you're doing these type of things, this woman or a lot of women are going to be attracted to that because, man, this guy is out here crushing it in life. He's a go-getter. He's getting shit done. He's imposing his will. He's being a fucking man. And that's what being a high-value man is all about. Now, and last but not least, number 4 on the priority scale is women. Women last. See, this is where a lot of niggas go wrong. Oh, I'm going to try to get all the pussy I can. You know what I mean? Women. Hey, I'm saying Slim. Hey, Red. You know what I mean? They see him at the mall, the gas station. They hollering at women, talking to women, trying to talk to women, trying to talk to women. But they're living at home on their mom's couch. Or they can't put gas in the car, or they don't have a car. They just don't, let's say, have their shit together. And so now they're chasing. So their priorities in the wrong way. So the women are not going to be attracted to a man like that. You see what I'm saying? Because when you're a high value guy, you know what I mean? And you focus on your mission, purpose, and all that, and you got them and you put women as last, yo, that's very, very attractive. So I don't want to give too much more away about the book, but that's the premise of it.
So let me ask you something. That very last point you made was poignant, because what I hear some brothers say is, well, I need a sister to build with me. I need somebody to build with me. Like, I'm starting from the bottom. I just need somebody to build with me. Is your estimation that, hey, get you together first, get your kingdom together first, and then find the queen? Or what do you say to the brothers, I just need a sister to build with me? What's the response you got there?
Well, in my videos, I greet my audience with, yo, what's up, kings? What's up, gods? What's up, stars? And I'm gonna break that down. If I'm calling you a king, I want you to know that you have to be the king of your own reality. Like, you see what I'm saying? So if you're on your purpose, mission, and focus, and you got a business, well, that business is your kingdom, because that's your brand, that's your service or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So you're at the head of that. And if I'm calling you a God, you see what I'm saying? Like, we already know that like if you subscribe to religion, the Bible teaches that, hey, the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? So that means that you're a part of God. God is within you. So as below, so below. Right? If you're a spiritualist, you know that you're just an extension, that you're an extension of the Creator. So they both pretty much tell you the same thing. So we're literally gods in the flesh. You see what I'm saying? And then when I say, what's up, stars, you have to be the star of your own reality. This is a movie. The life that you live is your own fucking movie. So you got to be the star of your own fucking movie. That's right. So I'm not looking for a woman to build with me. I'm doing this shit myself. Now she can be, she can ride along. I can invite her into my life. She can come along for the ride. She can be an assistance, because I look at women as assets and not liabilities. If she a liability to me, I'm going to get rid of her. You have to be an asset to me some kind of way. But if she's adding value to my life, if she's adding value to my business, if she's adding, something of tangible value and assets to me, okay, cool. But I don't need her as a crutch to help build my own fucking empire. I'm doing that shit myself. That's a part of being a man. I don't need a woman for that. You see what I'm saying? She's like my co-pilot. She's my co-assistant. You see what I'm saying? And you can put a woman in your life where you want her. Let's just use cinematic terms for a moment. Now, if I'm the star of my own movie, a potential woman, she can be an extra in my life, right? Or I can make her a featured extra. She might have a bigger role in my life. I don't know. Or she could get a recurring role if I want to get more serious with her, right? Or she could be my fucking co-star. But I'm the fucking star. I'm the star, not her. That's the problem. A lot of niggas go wrong by putting women as the focus of their life. They pedestalize women above themselves. They assign women more value than they do themselves, and that's where they go wrong. If you treat a woman like a celebrity, she's going to treat you like a fan. That's just how it goes.
Wow. Okay. Because, I think some of us been doing, I guess some of us been doing it a different way. There's a lot of brothers, like I said, that part there, I want a woman that's going to build with me. I want the woman that's, quote unquote, shooting with me in the gym when I'm starting from the bottom and now we going up here. And that was the other thing. We're always told as well, women are the gift. You have to treat women as if they're the gift. But I do see your point. You're a gift as well. You're a star as well. You're in the middle of your own production, your own show. So you got to treat it like that. And ideally, this can be your co-star, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just an extra in the show. Makes perfect sense. And if I can comment about what you said earlier, this stands as an antithesis to what the other guy is saying, because some of this should be common sense, but I think we've gotten away from common sense. And what I find most attractive about what you're saying here is it is focusing on the whole man. And it's not just, I need to make money. No. You need to take care of your temple. You need to connect to your spiritual self. It all plays a part, because if one of these pieces is missing, then you're not suitable to build with certain people and certain things. So that speaks to the holistic nature of what being a man is. And that, to me, is high value. It's not just in your bank account. Value is not just in your bank account.
Take care of your chicken. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your chicken.
Exactly.
Right. All right. So the next thing, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it. That's a great synopsis.
Yeah. And I was like, the next thing, and this is the part I was really curious about. Please tell us about 52 Blocks, because that seems so dope. Please tell us about 52 Blocks.
Well, 52 Blocks, man, it's been around for a long time. You know what I mean? Basically, it's the Montu arts, Montu, M-O-N-T-U, out of ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. As you can see, I rock Kemet, man. You know, this Heru, I got the pyramid right here. You know, I'm tatted up. I'm Kemetified all day long. Got the eye, I got Kepra, got my eye. It goes on. You see what I'm saying? And even in my book, you see I got Pharaoh King Menkaure and his wife. You know what I'm saying? So I'm tapping into our ancient ancestors that already laid the blueprint. You know what I mean? So anyway, to answer your question, we weren't just a royal people that that had a lot of interest in gold and wealth and things like that and monuments, but we were also warriors too, and very good fighters in martial arts. So the Montu arts is basically where it originated. You know, the 52 Blocks. So with that said, so as we migrated out in this diaspora, right? As we migrated out, and then you got colonialism, then you got chattel slavery and things like that. You know what I'm saying? This art kind of got lost in that, so to speak. And but a lot of the boxers still had this art or this ability, because it's in your DNA, it's in your genetic code. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at boxing, when it first originated, you know, like let's say a European boxer, they had a stance like this.
Yeah.
Here and kind of boring. But then you got us, we got the slips and the movement and, you know, all this and that. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the black boxers, like look at what's his name? The first black world champion. I forget his name.
Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson, right? Undefeated until he decided not to be defeated, pretty much. And he used to just demolish people. You know what I mean? And then with that said, like even George Foreman, he used to use the cross-arm block like this. This is known as skull and crossbones. Floyd Mayweather with the Philly shell. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali with the footwork. So it kind of made its way into boxing, but where it really took root in modern times, where it really took root was in New York, in prison, in the penitentiary system, okay? So it had other names like Stato, Jailhouse Rock, you know what I'm saying? Dirty boxing, shit like that. And so with these different type of names and dialects to it, it's basically still the 52s. Like brothers had to learn how to fight in shackles. Brothers had to learn how to fight in handcuffs and shackles. You know what I mean? And things like that. And it just kind of like evolved, you know what I'm saying? In prison, it got its traction more so, or its resurrection in prison. And then some of the teachers that kept it alive is like my sensei, you know what I'm saying? Sensei Mo. I don't know if you're familiar with Sensei Mo, Mahali al-Bethea, but Grandmaster Mo in Harlem. You know, so he basically, this is one who taught me, right? And now we have what's called the 52 Blocks Federation. And I got inducted to the Martial Arts Hall of Fame back in 2019, you know, through him. And now I'm a master instructor of the 52. So to answer your question, it started in ancient Kemet, made its way over to the US through colonialism, got famous in the penitentiary system, and now it's proliferating out into the world as a legit Black man's martial art. The 52 Blocks is the only martial art that is indigenous to the United States solely by the African American. In other words, like I'm also a 4th degree black belt in Aikido. But when you think Aikido, you think what? Japanese.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Steven Seagal. Right.
Right. I'm also a black belt, let's say in Krav Maga. But when you think Krav Maga, you're thinking what? Israelis.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But when you say 52 blocks, it's African. And it's coming right off the walls of ancient Kemet. So it's our martial art. And all martial arts had its origin out of ancient Kemet. That was Bob's next question. I'm like, so this predates what we in the West know as Kung Fu, ninjutsu, karate. This predates all of that. Predates all of that. Ancient Kemet, listen, our ancestors, man, we weren't just, scholars and scientists and mathematics and architecture and the pyramids and all of that. I'm also a Kemetic yoga Basu instructor. So I want to tell you too that yoga got its origins in ancient Kemet, not out of India and Hinduism. Wow. No, out of ancient Kemet. So when you start doing postures like Heru and the pose of men, these ancient postures come from ancient Kemet. So in other words, we civilized the globe, we civilized the world, but through colonialism and misappropriation of education and things like that, they just like remix and plagiarize our shit and make you think that we didn't originate these things.
That ain't nothing new.
I know, right? But we originated martial arts and yoga.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's great.
Right, I didn't know that until just this moment. Like, I thought we don't get credit for originating rock and roll and heavy metal. Not only that, but of course, we originated, now I know, yoga. And I've always, and that's my lack of research, so I appreciate you, brother. That's always been connected to India. That has always been connected there. And actually, they got it from someone.
Yep.
And that someone is us.
Stole it, but yeah, go ahead.
Borrowed.
Yeah.
Okay. But that is, now I need to learn. You're not too far from me. I need to come get some lessons for real, because I've learned how to box, but yeah, this is on a whole new level, because our mutual friend Ron was telling me about it. He's like, yo, this is official. I'm like, okay, I'm getting the grasp of this, how official it is.
And then too, just to elaborate a little bit more about the 52s, you got guys like other pioneers, like not just Professor Moore and myself. You have guys like Diallo Frazier. You know what I'm saying? You have guys like Mr. 52 Blocks Ramel. You have guys like Light Burley and things like that you may find on the internet. And you'll see stuff, shuffle the cards and, roll the dice. You know what I mean? You'll see the full body armor and things like that. But it's not just these hand movements. It's not just that. So now what we've done, when I say we, I'm talking about Professor Moore now with the 52 Blocks Federation, we've made it a complete martial arts system. So what I mean by that is it's not just hand-to-hand combat. Now we're doing gun disarms, we're doing edge weapon defense, we're doing multiple attackers, we got a ground component, and those are the things that I add to the 52 block system. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just niggas out on the basketball court,
right,
all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It looks like, cool, but it's really tactical.
So you can learn this and step into an MMA ring, probably.
You could.
Okay.
You could. MMA is, you know what I mean? MMA is just boxing, wrestling, judo, BJJ type stuff like that. But
right,
it's still a sport. It's a brutal sport, but it's still a sport. It's got rules. You got a referee, you got doctors ringside, you have a one-on-one person. It's one-on-one, it's you and this guy in the same weight class.
Right.
It's a lot of factors. It's a lot of factors involved that doesn't translate to the real world.
Right. Now, see, that part I found interesting, because I'm like, we've always been of the thinking, myself, my son, a few other folks I know, like, boxing is boxing, but if you had a real life confrontation, MMA is going to come in a lot more handy because that prepares you for a lot more situations. So it's interesting to hear you say that, it may or may not translate in real life, but from what I'm hearing, 52 blocks absolutely would. If you got into a situation just out and about and something pop off, you good with 52 blocks.
Absolutely. And a lot of things in 52s wouldn't be allowed in MMA because of the rules. Like I couldn't shuffle the cards in MMA. I couldn't do that.
Wow.
Because I'm attacking the eyes. I couldn't do dirty birds. I couldn't do birds if I wanted to do that in MMA because I'm attacking your throat.
So these are some lethal moves, boy.
Yeah.
This is to end it fast.
If I do cover the bullet, I could break your fist. If I do double pyramids, like it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got to come get some lessons. Okay. Next question, because we talk about this on the show often, our issues with law enforcement in general, in the Black community particularly. If I understand, you got a bit of a background in law enforcement there. What caused you all to be started and stop it?
I've been a protector type, you know what I'm saying, soldier dude my whole life. You know what I mean? Like, shit. Right out of high school, man, I went into the military, went to the Navy. I was in Desert Storm. I did that shit, and then when I got out, I tapped into corrections. So I was a state CO for about 2 years in Miami. And then for another 6 to 7 years, I was a county CO, you know what I'm saying, for the county. And then I said, fuck it, let me see what's going on with this police work, because I didn't like corrections. You know, I've always been a revolutionary, so to speak. I've always been like, fuck the system. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is oppressive, you know what I mean? And I really saw that, you know what I'm saying, when I was a CO. When I was a CO, I was like, man, there's nothing but niggas up in here. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, where are all the white people at? Where are all the Hispanic people at? I'm like, especially in the state prison, I'm like, it's nothing but niggas up in here. And then all the COs were Black. Most of them. So I'm like, so I already surmised in my head, I was like, okay, well, they're using Black people to enslave Black people.
I was about to say that.
You know what I mean? And then you look at the police officers, right? The POs, the police officers, or the peace officers, the KKK officers, right? Most of them are white. And that's by design. And so then I crossed over, like I said, I went to the county. So when I became a county CO in Miami-Dade County, it was a little bit more eclectic. And what I mean by that is, okay, you had a little bit more mixture of Black officers, white officers, and Hispanic officers. So I was like, okay, it's a little bit more diversified in terms of ethnicity. But when I look at the inmates, I'm like, there's nothing but niggas up in here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, so how come all the white people, they go to the federal prisons? They do fed time, which is, usually easy and laid back and chill.
Right.
Instead of armed robbery, they get charged with embezzlement and shit like that. They're not getting life. They're doing 10 to 15 years, if that, maybe 7. You know what I mean? So I saw the fucking demographic breakdown and the unfairness in terms of sentencing and just the mass incarceration of our people. So I didn't fucking like corrections. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the road, bro. I'm gonna go to the road. So I became a reserve police officer. I was on the SWAT team. And I'm like, this is some bullshit too. So
really?
Like, yeah. So I'm like, this is some bullshit too. Because, put it this way, the first day on the job, they took me by the mayor's house and the chief house. Don't know. This is where the mayor stayed, this is where the chief stayed. So why do you think they did that? You know what I mean? So and then not only that, it's like you go to roll call, and you get the sergeant and lieutenant that come in, and hey, this month we might be focusing on quotas for tickets and shit like that. I'm like, oh, man.
All right, so the quota is real. The quota is real.
Oh, so there's such thing as quotas. Oh, I'm glad you said that.
They put pressure on you, bro. They put pressure on you. They put pressure on you for tickets. They put pressure on you for arrests. Like there's a daily activity report that you got to turn in. So you're not just out riding around your car taking calls. You got to document this shit and what you were doing. Like your whole time is documented on there, especially now with the body cameras and shit like that. But this was some time ago, but still, even today. So I went in initially under the premise, oh yeah, I'm swatting it out. I'm gonna take down real bad guys. You know what I'm saying? You know, the real drug kingpins, the motherfucking
Pablo Escobar and everybody else. Right.
Pablo, man, we serving warrants on some bullshit. We serving warrants, kicking in doors, doing house raids on some bullshit. Nigga got like, I don't know, a hydroponic lab of marijuana or some shit. Like we did all this shit for that. Like, come on, man. Like,
wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is some bullshit. Are we doing stings on like prostitution? You know, niggas going to the strip club and we just fucking with them because, you know, we got nothing else better to do. So I'm like, come on, man. This really, like, I'm not making a difference out here. I'm actually harassing motherfucker. That's what I felt like. So yeah, I didn't like. So what I'm gonna tell you, the funnest time or the best time that I had in the law enforcement world when I was a police academy instructor. So I did that for maybe almost a decade, for almost 10 years, right? So I taught defensive tactics, which is, you know, police self-defense, basically, defensive tactics. I taught firearms and I taught tactical driving, vehicle operations for almost a decade. And that shit was fun because I taught cops how to be cops. I gave them the skills.
No chokeholds.
While at the same time honing mine and all my other martial arts skills that I already amassed. So yeah, so in other words, between corrections, law enforcement instructing, martial arts and all this kind of shit, it just made me a bad mofo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In terms of skills and, you know, and hand-to-hand combat. And so now I've just taken all those skills and I'm a bodyguard at this point. That's what I do.
That's what's up. Because I was curious how you got into it on the law enforcement, because it's like, you know, it's always been hard to reconcile. I think this is something a lot of people miss. Like, look, there's no getting around it. If you understand history, you understand the origin of law enforcement is slave catching.
Yeah.
And it's like
it is. Like literally.
And that's why I'm always amazed of how it's like the narrative is when people say defund or disband police, the narrative is, well, oh my gosh, what are we going to do if crime happens? Who's going to keep us safe? And it's like, you got to understand that was never the intention of law enforcement in the first place. We need to reimagine it and come up with a different concept, a different strategy. Also, to your point, I wasn't a CO. I worked in, I don't know how it works in Miami-Dade, but in Baltimore, if you get arrested, you got to do what's called bail reviews the next day. Go before the judge, figure out if your bail is set appropriately. And that was my job. But I worked in central booking, and the very same realization you had, I had, and it is depressing when you see nothing but Black bodies behind these bars. Even in the women's prison, nothing but Black bodies behind these bars, nothing but Black COs. And then to see the interesting dichotomy of these Black COs just exert power, like they almost forgot, this is a Black person like you. Yeah, they might be in cuffs, they might be behind bars at the moment, but this is still your brother. Right. We still all part of the diaspora. So that was just an interesting dichotomy. And yeah, I can see why you got out of there. Shifting gears, and it's interesting because we had a conversation before we started that you weren't feeling too well, and you actually had the audacity to take some natural remedies. But I figured I'd ask you, because we got to kind of tiptoe so we don't get yanked. There's a certain pandemic going on, and what I find interesting, I find interesting is there's a lot of folks who look like us that are endorsing vaccination. I know where I sit on that. I'm curious, where do you sit on these folk who have all this influence telling all of us that we should be vaccinated as soon as humanly possible?
Man, basically they're puppets, you know what I'm saying? They took the deal, aka let's say the latest one was Juvenile with the song. Come on, man, you done killed it, bro. Bro, like
Back
literally,
that day up.
come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like I was like, man, I'm done. I'm done.
That was it.
Yeah, I'm done. He done took the money. You know what I mean? So aside from the money, man, it's just ignorance, or you know what I mean? Just niggas being gullible because obviously you forgot about the Tuskegee experiment. Obviously you forgot about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
we
forgot
did.
about that. Exactly, Kanan. And then on top of that, let's look at what happened with the Pilgrims and the Indians with the blankets. It was smallpox. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? We can just how far you want to go back with this? You know what I mean? So, bro,
I just
you got a God-given immune system, and God is so intelligent that all of the medicine is in the foods.
what a thought. Wow.
Who would ever put it on that? So all you need to do, man, is get you some sunlight, drink some water. You know what I mean? Eat the proper, herbs, vegetables, and teas and all that.
Do a little bit of research, some real research here, and find out what your body needs. You might want to
Vitamin
I
C,
don't know,
vitamin D, all that.
Yeah, all that. Vitamin C, vitamin D, get you some sleep. You know what I mean? Get you some rest.
drink you some water.
Want some water, detox. Listen, the more you treat yourself like a plant, the better off you are. We're sun people.
Ooh.
That's true. That's
We're
true.
sun people. Now you and I, Ross, we you know what I'm saying, we bald. My man here, Kane, he still got the oculus. You know what I mean? And see, we got that hair that what? Defies gravity. It grows towards the sun. We're the only ones that walk on the planet whose hair can do that, because we have what's called neuromelanin. We also have the U melanin, which makes us brown, black, and different with all shades, because melanin is condensed sunlight. And sunlight condensed. So we're basically sun people.
Literally sun people.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's why the ancients refer to themselves as children of the sun. So a lot of us are vitamin D deficient. All we got to do is go outside and get some sunlight, and that will maximize your health. You know what I mean? In terms of serotonin and melatonin, your circadian rhythms, and vitamin D is essential to all of your body functions.
And I gotta jump in.
Go ahead.
Because I gotta jump in real quick. I would strongly suggest folks take a look at their vitamin D levels and understand that most of those standards that we are told about are vastly low for people who have higher concentrations of melanin. Like, I take a vitamin D supplement myself, and I'm taking like 6,000 units a day, because what we're told the baseline is typically lower than what our baseline should be. So you definitely get out there, get some sun, and take some extra vitamin D, because hey, that'll help make you healthier and boost your immune system. How about that?
That's right. A lot of us are vitamin D deficient, like you just said. And we need about an hour, bro, of direct sunlight exposure. So if you can, stop wearing shades and dark sunglasses. If you can, ride with the windows down or the sunroof open. You know what I mean? Open them curtains up, like get some sunlight.
Oh yeah, because I'm down here now. I'm originally a northerner. I'm from Buffalo, New York, but I moved to Texas not too long ago, and I don't know. It's my body slowly turning over and converting to this climate, but it's something about being in the sun and riding with the sunroof, opening the windows down. I'm like, I think you just explained it. We are naturally sun people, so it only makes sense that I'm just absorbing all of that in, and it feels magnificent because that is my natural state.
Why do you think they charge you more for it? Every car can be a convertible. Every car can come with a sunroof or a panoramic roof. They know this shit.
Wow. But
every home can have solar power or zero point energy power. They know this shit.
And that's why, you love homes with natural lighting. You love homes that get the sunlight coming through, so on and so forth. And you're right, they charge you more for it. But yeah, circling back to where we started, it's an interesting thing to see all of these quote unquote Black celebs and people of influence suggesting we get injected with certain things. And I'm like, I've even heard, I don't know if you follow Roland Martin at all, but there's a sister on Roland Martin's one of his shows that mentioned Tuskegee and mentioned how actually, and I don't know how factual this is, I have to do the homework, but actually no one in Tuskegee was ever actually injected with anything. Allegedly, they were just monitored. So what she was claiming was, we've got it all wrong all this time. We were never actually injected with anything. They just saw people who had syphilis and gave them placebo to see what would happen, but they never actually injected us. And I'm like, even if that's true, one, do you really think that? But even if that's true, that's not exactly a better case.
Right.
Like, so you stood by and watched.
Unequivocally, what they cannot dispute is what they gave to the indigenous Indians, us. We were already here before they got here. That's why Indian, the word Indian literally means like copper tone or indigo, like indigo brown or red. You know what I mean? Like Indian is like a brownish reddish color. Right. That was the color of our people here. That was us. So now I'm not talking about these $5 Indians now. Not I'm talking about the actual real Indians, us, our people that were indigenous to this land, aka the United States, when they came here with that smallpox bullshit and the motherfucking blankets. You can't dispute that.
Nope. Yeah, you can't dispute.
And you can't dispute the Georgia Guidestones.
Mm.
They want to depopulate the earth and get it down to 500 million. It's right there in Georgia. The Guidestones, it's in all languages. They can't dispute. Well, I don't want to go too far because I don't want to get, this interview yeah. They can't dispute those things.
Right. You can't dispute Henrietta Lacks, the HeLac cells. You can't dispute recent, forced sterilization of women in Puerto Rico. So even if we want to pretend Tuskegee wasn't what we think it is, there's way too much out there that says, well, I'm still not going to trust you. Absolutely. But wow, that's amazing. All right, so I really want to let people know, please let the folks know, how can we find you? Where can we find you? Please, please, please talk to the folks.
Hey man, you guys can find me on Instagram. It's going to be ace_heru. That's ACE_HERU. Also, my YouTube is where I supplement my book. I make YouTube videos, to supplement my book. I put out a video like once or twice a week on that channel. It's called High Value Man Aficionado, because I am the aficionado on this subject. I'm one of the original pioneers on it. And that channel just got monetized recently and is doing pretty well. And it's my objective to scale it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's happening. So those are my two main platforms, man. I got a revised edition coming out by September. Okay. So the second edition of the book is coming out, and it's going to be published by Angela Stanton, if you're familiar with her, and Angela Stanton Publishing. And it's going to be great, man. This book is pretty much a bestseller. This book is a rite of passage, really. This is that book that every Black household should have. And it's already transcended gender as well as race. And it already went global off of my own efforts when I self-published. But now I got a publishing powerhouse in Stanton Publishing. So again, ace_heru, and also High Value Man Aficionado on YouTube.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're gonna about to wrap this up. I am honored to have you here. I think I can speak for Kane as well. Kane, any last questions? Anything else you want to open the floor to? Anything else you want to ask before we get to wrapping this up?
We talked about a lot, so yeah,
right.
He kind of answered all the questions that I wanted to ask, and like I said, I'd like to thank you for being a guest. You were nice, brilliant man, and proud to be your brother, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Much love.
Yeah, I feel like I just got a master class in manhood, and it definitely opened my eyes to a few things, because it's just, like I said, I felt it necessary to combat the other guy with someone I consider to be a what example of a real man is, and what example of what brothers need to aspire to do for themselves. Because I firmly believe, brothers and sisters, we need each other. This is an all hands on deck situation, and we need some instruction, because I think a lot of brothers have been led astray by this westernized world, by these westernized standards. So it is awesome to have someone that can set it straight for us and give us a blueprint on how to get there. Any last comments, sir?
I think I pretty much covered it, man. But I thank you for having me on. And this book is that book.
Go check it out, people. Check it out.
Go check it out and tap into the YouTube channel too, man.
Of course.
Absolutely.
But other than that, hey, it's been a pleasure.
Well, on behalf of our awesome guest, Asaru, on behalf of my co-host, Kane, this is the Yeah, I Said It podcast. We will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace.
Yeah.
Hey, hold up. The 52 salute. All right? The 52 salute is basically love here, peace here.
And I'll now be incorporating that in everything else I do. Thank you very much.
I'll show you something else real quick before we go. See this peace sign? That's the European way. It represents separation. If you Google the Kemetic peace sign, it's here. Unity. So, love and peace.
Got it. All right, sir.
All right now. Peace.